Yo, 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 and welcome back to the Banter Boys podcast. My name is Sanji. With me is Ryan. How you doing, boy?
Yo, I feel a bit shit, but potting never stops, man. We got asked a shit ton of questions, so I have to be here.
Yeah. How was Canada?
Canada was great. I guess a lot of temperature changes, because in Toronto it was like 20, dropped down to 15. In Kelowna, where my brother is, it was 27, 28. But it gets to like 10 at night. So just a back and forth, and then now I'm back in Trinidad. I guess that must have messed me up. I don't know.
Yeah, you sound a little nasally, coffee. It's like we're taking turns basically at this point.
Yeah, I guess so.
But you sound okay. Like you sound like good spirits. Like and you had a bit of a meetup. You finally met the other boys.
I know, I finally met Ross. I found out Kyle's still alive. Like, it's crazy out there.
I know, you guys sent me the picture and I didn't know whether to be surprised, upset, happy, like, yeah. But, I mean, it's good. He's alive. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
But Ross is good. Finally met him in person. It's crazy. We've been doing this for how long now and never met him in person before.
Yeah. What'd you guys end up doing?
We went for hot pot.
Nice.
One of the few halal hot pot joints that he could go to. So.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot everything halal with Ras. That's true.
Exactly. So we unfortunately couldn't get a football game going, but next time for that. We'll wait till you're around.
Definitely.
So I don't have to nutmeg Niraj by myself.
Yeah, because everyone loves doing that. Okay. So I think what we'll do is social plugs, and then we can jump straight into it.
Social plugs.
All right, Russ, I'll let you do your thing right here.
Yeah, for sure. So you can message us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handles at BanterB. On Discord in the Draft PL channel, BanterBoys #6585. On Reddit, /Banter_boys. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube, all under the name of Banter Boys.
All right. Now that you've listened to Russ, I just want to also shout out all our listeners and fans. Like, we're growing so much day by day. Twitter followers, Spotify followers, Discord. There's always like a new member almost every day now. It's fucking amazing. I love you guys so much. The support has been great. I just want to make a small request though. Like, if you are listening to this on Spotify or YouTube, if you don't mind taking a quick second to just, follow the pod or hit that like button. It means a lot to help us grow even more and just, put out as much content as possible. But yeah, honestly, just shout out to all the listeners and fans. You guys are fucking amazing. And yeah, I think what we'll do now is jump straight into the data dump.
Let's do it.
Oh, I didn't even explain what this pod is about, by the way. I should have done that, shouldn't I? Yeah.
Probably should do.
Okay, well, guys, if this is your first time listening to the Banter Boys podcast, welcome. We cover everything in the default version of the game. So typically how these episodes run is we have two halves. In the first half, we do a bit of a data dump, look at some of the default scoring categories, then we catch up in our leagues, see how we're doing, any moves that we've made. Then we take our halftime pint, and then we jump back in the second half with Twitter and Discord questions, and then round things off with FA/waiver picks. All right, now let's jump into the data dump.
Ay. Fantasy with the Banta Boys.
Okay, so starting off with key passes, we're looking back at game week 6. So the highest number of key passes recorded was 5 by Doughty, Robertson, and Trippier. It should be noted that Doughty played 71 minutes, Trippier 69 minutes, and then 4 key passes by Garner, Gilmore, Guimaraes, Kamara, Ogbin. Sure, I'm butchering that, but that's the fast as fuck Luton guy. Saka, Szoboszlai, and Tarkowski. Thoughts, Ryan?
So, okay, I thought it was weird that Doughty and Robertson were on this list. But Tarkowski with 4? That's just nuts.
I mean, I was at that game. He was basically just pinging balls to Beto into the
Nice.
box. Oh, and to Decore as well, right? He would have gone a key pass for the assist for
Yes,
the
he
goal
got
that
his
Decore
assist.
started.
Yep.
And then he did the same thing again with like a cross from like the deep, and basically Decore hit the crossbar, almost scored a very similar goal. So I don't know what's going on with those guys, man. They've got some weird chemistry going on. But yeah, with 4 key passes, that's wildness. Yeah.
That is wild. Good to see him finally repay his faithful managers though. Like, he's been crap pretty much all season up till now. Huge showing from him. I see you're highlighting Trippier, Guimaraes, same color because they're in the same team. I can't get over the 69 for Trippier. Maybe.
I mean, come on. Like, it was the sexiest haul we've had in a while.
Honestly, we talked before that game. When was it? You needed 30-something points?
I was down 30 points.
And just Trippier
to go.
left. Yeah.
And
It
I was like,
nuts.
yeah, like, what are the fucking chances? And I ended up, like, winning by, like, 16 points or some shit. Like, he got the highest score in the game week.
Yeah. Like, so I have him in FPL, and we were like, okay, he got the early assist, right? So we're like, great start.
Yeah.
And you were vexed because the finisher wasn't Botman. It was Dan
exactly.
Burn. And you own Botman in FPL. And then like 5 minutes after we mini rant, he assists Botman. Like, what?
It's perfect.
It was insane. Like, it was a great, that was the final game, right?
Yeah, it was the final game.
Yeah,
I fully was expecting a 0-0. I was just like doing some work on the side. I'm like, I'm just gonna have this as background noise. Like,
Yeah, no, that was an amazing game to end off the game week. Such a high game week for both of us because we all had wins all around, right? But
yeah,
okay, back to the key passes list. Dowsy, great for him because he's back in the squad and doing it. Robo, great to see
yeah,
because Trent is not there. He's picked
Yeah.
up that mantle, and we know he still has that in his locker. Good for the
Yeah.
owners there.
yeah.
And the rest, I think, I'm not going to talk about Gilmore too much, Bruno Guimaraes either, because Newcastle just bossed that game, but the rest is pretty standard. Ogben.
Ben. So this is like apparently this guy has clocked the second fastest speed in the EPL since the 2021 season or something like that.
Who's
So
the
he's really
fastest?
fucking rapid. I assume it's Kyle
Kyle
Walker.
Walker. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
assume so too. Oh, is it Dan James?
Oh, that's a good shout, actually. Yeah, we'd have to look that up. I mean, if you're listening to this pod and you know the answer, you can comment when we post the episode as well, or drop it in the
Yeah.
Discord. But yeah, that was good to see, like, promising, especially, 2 Luton assets beasting right before the double game week, right?
Yeah, exactly. I
Uh,
grabbed Doughty just for that game week, and
yeah,
you told me like 30 minutes in, yo, how is he on 10 points or something? And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
yeah. Absolute madness. I mean, also the whole Robertson thing, I think it's because Trent's out. That's why he's kind of stepped up to drive forward, right? The other side is probably just tucking in defensively in that sense. I don't expect any attacking returns or whatever from the other side, like Joe Gomez, whoever the fuck they want to play on that side. So
Yeah, agreed. And he gets to hog all sets, right? Well, most.
yeah. The Garner one was a little surprising for him to get the 90 minutes after a poor performance in the last few game weeks. Like, he did fuck all versus Sheffield United, didn't pass the eye test. And I think there was a slight tactical switch, and Daesh talked about it as well. It was like a bold call to like drop Danjuma for him. But I mean, his assist for DCL was sexy. Like, it was a great pass.
Didn't see it.
He was taking like all the left-sided corners if you're facing
Yeah.
the goal sort of
saw that.
perspective. McNeil was taking all the right-sided corners. So
Right.
I mean, he's a decent punt while I guess Harrison's still out. That's my only doubt. Is like, once Jack is fit, like, what's gonna happen to this dynamic? Because he would be the first one that drops out for me.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
But I came up against Ghana and I was worried slightly.
Yeah.
He was posting solid numbers the entire game.
Yeah. Kamara, by the way, I think that's Aston Villa Kamara. That doesn't surprise me because they played us and we are truly garbage. So
Fair point.
I think that's it. Shall we move on?
Let's do it.
All right. Shots, then how many were on target? So the highest number of shots attempted this game week was 5 by Salah, who had 2 on target, and Callum Wilson, who had all of his 5 on target. Again, 69-minute sub. Then 4 shots attempted by Julian Alvarez with 2 on target. He came off after 56 minutes. Bruno Fernandes had 3 of his 4 shots on target. Jacob Brown had 1 of his 4 shots on target. He came off after 71 minutes. Beto had 1 of his 4 shots on target. He came off after the 62nd minute. And then Anthony Gordon had 3 of his 4 shots on target. He came off after the 77th minute, which is interesting because he came on for Harvey Barnes, if I'm not mistaken, who was injured.
Yeah, around like the 15th or so. So that means he got basically a full game and subbed in extra time? Or does that mean he got 15 to 77?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right?
Oh, okay, my bad.
I mean, I could double check it on this side, but yeah, what are your thoughts about these numbers?
Right. Callum Wilson should have absolutely hauled. Like, he should have put away a good few more of those chances. I mean, 1 goal is great, but like 2 big chances missed. All 5 of his shots on target, right? That's a bit nuts. Julian Alvarez, Julian. Yeah, he's Argentinian. I'm going to say Julian. It sucks because Rodri's red card probably meant he had to go, right? So only got 6 minutes there, but he still had a productive enough game to not worry owners. Like, it just sucks that he had to be the make way, right? And Beto, his minutes are worrying me. Like, his output's great. He delivered enough while on the pitch. Yeah. But then I saw Everton scored, and I didn't even realize he was subbed already. And then I checked his score, and I was like, DCL, oh, great. DCL's on surely for Beto. So.
Yeah, but I think he brings something different to the team. Like, I know it's 2 big, tall-ass strikers. They're good aerially, both of them. But I don't know, man. Eye test-wise, it would be very harsh, I think, for Dyche to drop him.
Right,
honestly,
right.
Like his ability to like several times it happened where he won the aerial and it was pretty much like a layoff for a runner past him.
Yeah.
So, and I can't recall DCL doing that much with his sort of play.
Maybe not, but I'm still worried. Like, he should be seeing more than 62 minutes by now.
Yeah.
Like, that is the only worry. I'm happy with his output. Gordon did play 77 minutes since coming on, so he did come on in the 12th and basically
yeah. So he played the full match. Yeah.
I think it's good to see Bruno back on this, but strange that he's not in the key pass list but made the shots on target list, right?
I mean, I'm surprised there weren't more like Newcastle key pass players after they scored 8 fucking goals versus Sheffield United. I honestly messaged our Inside Tracks rep, James, and I was like, James, how you doing, mate? Like, are you okay? Like, because that must be rough to take as a fan, man.
I guess. I mean, we've seen it several times before, but I guess, we've never spoken to fans about it. Like, Chelsea used to wreck Wigan 8-0.
Yeah,
often.
Fair.
I think.
I didn't know any Wigan fans back then to like.
That's exactly it.
On, so.
We didn't. I'm surprised. What's this? Who beat United? United won. Brighton. I'm surprised Brighton assets did not make this list at all. Either.
After they won 3-1 or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we know them to be attacking, but I guess the amount of rotation that came through the squad just really didn't mean they put up the same kind of stats that they usually would.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I mean, he also did sub off some people at halftime, right? Like, I think Buonanotte and Ferguson only got 45.
Yeah.
Mitoma came on, immediately smashed it, but whatever. Let's not get into that.
Yeah, that's a different platform of pain. All right, next category is accurate crosses into the box. We got 3 by Doughty, then 2 by Dalot, Mbeumo, McNeil, Trippier, and James Ward-Prowse. Thoughts?
So I'm happy to see Doughty up there. I'm an owner. I think hopefully he gets back his spot now. It pretty is standard here though. Like everybody there is a set piece taker, right? Dalo is dominating sets for United now.
Yeah. He got the assist for one of the United goals in the cup game tonight as well. Timestamp this. We're recording Tuesday evening after the first round of EFL Cup games. But yeah, from what I remember, he got the assist for one of the goals.
Yeah, I think he took a lot of the corners for United, right? I don't know about free kicks. Not over the weekend, yeah. Like he was taking them for sure. I think he who was it? Evans had scored his goal.
Yeah.
And it was disallowed because of offside. Hoyland judged to be impacting the goalkeeper. But Dalo got the assist for Evans there. Only minutes later for Evans to put in this ridiculous ball for Bruno to push away. That was sexy. But like, Dalo was on sets. Dalo was on corners. JWP, Trippier, Doughty, McNeil, you'd assume also all have set piece duties, right? And McWimmer too. So not too surprised by this.
By the way, Sheffield United, I know there was like a lot of stats flying around for like FPL community and stuff like that about like Sheffield conceding from like set pieces and like, you know, headers during set pieces and stuff. Surely James Ward-Prowse is going to absolutely fucking haul this game week.
You think so? Yeah,
Why
I guess
not?
they do have tall, like they have Zuma and they have
Agard,
yeah.
Suchek,
Yeah.
Alvarez, like...
Oh, is Alvarez tall? I haven't actually...
Edson? I assume he is. Let's see.
I mean, I see him by Suchek and I don't think he's like...
Edson Alvarez height. 1.87 meters.
Okay, that's tall.
That's
What's
6 feet,
Suchek?
2 inches.
What's Suchek?
Suchek's height
1.92 meters. That's why.
Oh, it's just getting worse the more we Google this.
But I see him and I'm like, oh, okay, he's not as tall as Suchek, so I don't assume he's that tall. But yeah, okay, that's fair.
Again, is 6'3".
Yeah.
And Zuma is 6'3" as well. They're absolutely fucked again.
True. Good to know.
Yeah.
So don't buy Bowen is what you're saying.
Well, I mean,
James
you
Ward-Prowse.
could buy Bowen. Like, literally, it could just be another cricket score. You never know. Like,
True.
West Ham are playing good football. Like,
They are. All right, enough FPL talk.
But I mean, in general, like, I think this is like a great week. And I mean, we're going to talk about it later in like the second half about streaming options and all that.
Yeah.
But streaming this game week, I think, is probably one of the easiest game weeks to kind of stream and target some teams.
I agree completely.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's now just quickly look at the extra categories. So tackles won, highest number was 5 by Veltman. Then we got 4 by Edson Alvarez, Kamara, Nakamba, Norgard, Odogi. Dispossessions, there was a high of 5 by Jesus and Semenyo. Funny enough, Semenyo only played 25 minutes, which is crazy to get dispossessed that much. And then 4 dispossessions of Hughes and Palmer. And Palmer only played 21 minutes. Yeah. Interceptions, there was a high of 5 by Egan, 4 by Robinson. Clearances, there was a high of 9 by Thiago Silva, then 8 by Johnny Evans and Robinson, and then 7 by Egan. Successful dribbles, 6 by Paqueta, 5 by Eze. Aerials, 12 by Virgil van Dijk, 10 by Kilman, 9 by Beto. And block shots, 4 by Dunk, 3 by Aged and Suchek. Thoughts, Ryan?
I'd say it's pretty standard for the most part. I mean, Anthony Robinson had a great game. I think he put up like 20 points.
Yeah.
20 something, right?
Saw that. Yeah.
Good for him and his few owners like who held the fate. I don't know how many would have actually started him, but like just good to see, right?
You could probably start him versus Chelsea.
True, definitely. The rest I think are pretty not like surprising. I mean, Egan there, unfortunate for him though.
I mean, they had to defend a lot, basically.
I guess, yeah.
And Robinson, both teammates, right?
True.
Nakamba back on the tackles again. Right?
Yeah, it's good to see. Definitely worth a grab for the double game week coming up.
100%. I think you're gonna. That's like an easy 12 to 15 points right there. I think.
Yep.
Maybe you might
Counting
get
over
an
both
attack in
games.
return. Who knows? Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
Counting over both games, right?
Yeah.
What else? VVD, like, had back one of his classic games.
Yeah.
12 areas won, which is a
Yeah.
shit ton. And then, what do you call it?
He
Getting
got the
assists,
assist.
right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
got a smashing game.
Yeah. I was very happy as an owner. But yeah, I think everything else is fairly standard. So now what we'll do is move on to the next segment, which is league updates. All right, Ryan, I'll let you go first. How did you do in the DPL Com League?
So, like you, I won across the board in every draft league I'm in this game week. DPL, I won 90 versus 66. Game week good. Andy Roboyo. Great to see with that 5 key passes. I have only 3 defenders in that league, but it really didn't feel like I needed anything more than that this game week because Vardiol got the clean sheet. Robo killed it, and then Ben White got an assist. So
True.
Each of them did well. The game week regrets, I benched Morris because he got the early game and I wasn't too sure how Luton would fare. He just had a bad game week, right? Annoyingly got that pen, smashed it with 17 points on my bench. I got it Rodrigo's red card. And Fotheringham in goal for the first time was a failure.
8 saves, 8 goals conceded. Broke
I
even.
know. Did he though? Did he?
It could have been a lot worse. Imagine if you got
saves.
negative 16.
I guess. I would have still won, but yeah, true. Roster concerns is really just back to that 3 defender thing I was talking about. It's not sustainable for a full season. I do need to get another defender soon, and I probably will trade one of my forwards or at least target someone to try and get that. But for now, I'm happy with it. And then waiver FA pickups. I did none because I forgot waivers, but to be honest, I'm fine with my team.
Yeah. I mean, you could always just stream that position as well, right?
Yeah,
the
for sure.
defense position. So,
I mean, we were talking last week about Miggy because I won Miggy in this league, and we thought he was like just about to be a drop, but we'll give him an easy game and see how he does, right?
Yeah.
He didn't play UCL, for example. Like we figured he'd start. He did. He got a goal and then was subbed off after the goal. But I think it's promising for him coming into this easy run. So I'm happy to hold again. And really, it's just Rodri with the red card suspension on my bench that I'm worried about, quote unquote. But no real worries in this team. Maybe Whistler's performance being too volatile. Good one week, bad the other.
Yeah, he didn't look too great, I want to say, eye test wise versus Everton. I think he's like kind of dropping off. But I mean, in general, like Brentford on a whole are just racking up injuries and they're slowly falling apart, man. Now they've lost Sade for a few months, like a doctor surgery or something like that. So it's going to be very interesting how Thomas Frank kind of navigates the time up until Tony comes back, because I don't know if he's going to get Tony. I feel like he's getting Tony after AFCON or whatever, right? So he's going to lose Mbeumo and Vissa. So I feel like the international break can't come soon enough for Brentford.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. They are missing, what's his name? Jeez. Henry, right?
Yeah.
And then however they tried to cope didn't work. Like, Mbeumo dropping back to right wing back was not the right play at all.
Yeah. They switched to back 3 and basically just told Everton, come and attack us, sort of thing. Like, it was terrible.
Yeah. I think given time, they will sort it out. It's just unfortunate that they have to go through these emotions, really.
Yeah, I mean, their midfield 3 is still solid. Like, Janelt, Norgard, Jensen, like, still really good core. I mean, they're obviously as well missing Ben Mee. I don't think Nathan Collins is quite there yet.
Agreed.
So, again, I think maybe give it a few weeks. Like, again, international break, they might just come back with some sort of better, different solution. We might see a different Brentford, right? Again, I am worried, though, as an Mbeumo owner, the fact that he's been pushed out into that right wing back spot. Like, I'm concerned that, lack of attacking option. Not lack of opportunity to get attacking returns, as in he's further away from the goal. But then he ghosted well enough. Like 7 points is good.
Yeah, no, Mbeumo is definitely. I mean, he's on sets and he gets way more involved than Wissa does. But so I wouldn't be feeling how owning Mbeumo. But I do think that Brentford have kind of been found out. I mean, you said the injuries, but like you just know you need to man mark Mbeumo, Wissa, and you're probably fine, right? So I am slightly like, yes, we've been high on Brentford, but they started really well. I am still somewhat okay with them, given that Forest is the next fixture up.
Away though?
Yeah, I mean, it's still Forest. I'm not expecting returns. I'm just expecting better ghost points.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Forest got the win though.
Yeah, neither me. But I want to urge caution, I guess, to owners. Probably do start thinking about it a bit more. Do you want to pivot off these options, or are you happy to ride it out for the few game weeks where you're probably going to bench them or not get much points?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting dilemma. I mean, you could possibly try and trade out, but I feel like I'd still hold Mbeumo.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How do you do in DPL?
I mean, before I move on to me, quickly want to touch on your Almiron thing. Another positive, I guess, point in Almiron's side is Harvey Barnes' injury.
Yeah. You told me this morning he was out for like a month. I didn't realize it was that long, and then
or maybe a couple. Thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
something
it's
to do
like
with his
November.
toe or
He's coming back or something.
Yeah, so it's massive loss.
Estimated.
I mean, people are like talking about dropping him. I mean, that's wild. Like, if you can afford to stash, I'd stash, but dropping him is crazy, man.
It's a huge uptick for the Gordon owners, though.
Yeah,
like, Gordon would have been picked up in some leagues. He was free in my league for a while.
He got dropped in our league by Gavin. Gavin dropped him, I think, in like the first couple of weeks because it was like no returns, barely any minutes. Like it was looking like shit, and
exactly
he just fucking smashed it. I mean, granted, it was versus Sheffield United and all that, but he still smashed it versus Liverpool when he got that goal. Ghosted really well as well. So
yeah,
he's
looking like the player we thought he could have been, right, at Everton, and then no,
the one that Frank Lampard also wanted at Chelsea. Yeah,
true.
Okay, so for me, like I said, went from basically all losses last week to all wins as well. So in DPL.com, I ended up winning like 138 to 123. Game week good. I had the two top scoring assets in the game this game week, both Trips and Tarks. The Tarkowski one. So I completely forgot I was sitting with Brentford fans when he scored. And he scored in the goal in front of me. Mate, I jumped up. I've never celebrated and sat back down so quickly before. I had to catch myself. I was like, dog. Like, luckily, there was like children sat to either side of me. So I was like, I was fine.
You goof, man.
A little bit. I got carried away in the moment. I celebrated all the goals, basically.
I didn't realize Taco came second for the game week. Wow.
I believe he did.
Yeah, he did. He outscored Saka by 1 point.
Yeah, yo. I mean, I know because my opponent had Saka. Like, genuinely, I was quite worried for the game week, man. Because he had Phil Foden, he had Saka, he had Doucouré. I was just like, yo, he's like, it's going way too well for him, man.
Yeah.
Because this was like the same game we mentioned it earlier. Like, I was down 30 points. He was out. I had Trippier, and Trippier put up the highest score of all assets, 44.5 points, 3 assists. Made our data dump on key passes, clean sheets, and all of this just in 69 minutes.
Nuts. Insane.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy. Ryan Christie, first attack and return, but fuck all ghost points. So happy with that. James McAtee, the potential's there. I know I dropped him, but the potential is there. Eye test wise, he looks decent. He's putting up a bit of ghosties. I mean, granted, they've had a couple of tough fixtures, but I think there is hope for that asset. Game week regrets. So it was during the game week, I was like, I think I was down by a bit or whatnot. And I didn't realize that Robert Sanchez was free in our league. And I would have honestly swapped him with Areola because he's conceding enough shots to offset whatever clean sheet we don't keep. And my opponent had Levi Colwell. So I was like, maybe I should have matched that defense.
Right.
But now I'm happy I have Areola because they're playing Sheffield United.
Sheffield. Yeah.
So I'm assuming a clean sheet's coming. But I would be worried that Sheffield United get a goal and there's not enough saves because maybe Sheffield United don't shoot enough, sort of thing.
Right.
Roster concerns, Man City defenders. I keep telling people on the spot, do not roster them. I keep rostering them, so I've finally gotten rid. And then my forwards, Jackson, Cunha, Jimenez. Banned for 5 yellows. Fucking stupid as hell. Cunha and Jimmy, I can't tell when either one is going to ghost or either one is going to score 0 points or some shit like that. I keep playing the wrong one and it was a concern and I felt like I had to do something about it. So like a couple of my moves this week. So during the week I had dropped Ake because he was benched and you told me like stop holding on to these bench assets. Like it's not making sense, especially Man City defenders, right? So as soon as I saw his bench, I grabbed Lamptey, and then I saw Lamptey was benched and I was like, okay, fuck it, what am I going to do so late into the game week? I thought, let me think forward for the next game week. So I grabbed back Emerson playing Sheffield United sort of thing,
nice.
right?
Okay.
So I did that as like a future move sort of thing. And then the waiver moves that I made was I dropped Akanji and grabbed Lyle Foster. I dropped Cunha and grabbed Ogben, which is that Luton forward. And then I dropped McAtee and grabbed Aaron Ramsey. So basically, I wanted a striker in Lyle that I know he's not going to play the full double game week, but I think he's better than Cunha and better than Jimenez in the fact that he's going to play 90 minutes more often than not. And he already has 2 goals for the season.
Yeah. So he's back for the Luton game, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, which is great then.
Yeah. Like, I would honestly be tempted to kind of play him and just stick it in there and just see how it goes sort of thing.
Yeah.
But just moving forward, like I just like him as an option. Like I've shouted him and hailed him up, bigged him up so much. I felt like shit not owning him when he was like just scoring goals and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I was like,
he got the assist for that goal that was disallowed too, right?
Yeah. Or he scored the goal. Wait,
he scored.
He scored and it got disallowed or something like that. Yeah.
And then he got a red card right after. It was
and it was still ending on 5.5 points. Yeah.
Big roller coaster for those managers though.
Exactly. Ogben, I merely just punted because of double game week. And then same with Aaron Ramsey. He got his first start, put up 9 points. And there are a couple of people that I wrote about in my Draft Society waiver wire article, which I'm pretty much I'm writing, I think, almost all the waiver wire articles moving forward now. So, I mean, keep an eye out. Go support it. Go check it out. I mean, rate, like, hit me up. In the Discord, though.
Yeah.
What's going on in your Banter Boys League? What's the update there?
I won there 97 versus 79. That's back to front. Like a palindrome. 97-79. It was kind of all around good game week. Like Bruno was my top scorer, but I had Bowen. I had like a lot of players who kind of just rounded out my score. Like Dalo, Doughty, Beto, for example. But generally, I'm worried about this team, right? So my gaming regrets. I played Gusto over Colwell. I have both of them. I decided I'll only go with one Chelsea asset because you guys are so bad. I went for the more attacking one, and obviously that's the one that gets -4 points. Colwell on my bench with +7, so like it could have been a much better game week. Red card in each of my leagues, not fun. But
yeah,
my concern with this league, and let me rattle off some of the players I have on my bench, right? Iwobi, Amrabat, Barkley, Palmer, Jota. Like none of these guys are nailed. Evan Ferguson was in my squad because he got the start, but like only got 45 minutes. I am worried, but I'm also not so worried that I'm willing to drop these guys either. I want to wait longer, even if I take like 2 or 3 losses on the bounce, because I want to see what it will be. I think he's going to break into the squad, and I want to see what he can do at Fulham. I think Palmer is super productive every time he comes on for you guys. So, like, he's gotten, 4 points or 3.5 points or 5 points or 2 points in each of his sub appearances, right? and always putting up decent points. Like, he got 2 key passes and then 4 dispossessions. Like,
Yeah.
that means he's doing things.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to drop him yet. Amrabat, I think, has to come in over McTominay at some point. Like, I'm not ready to drop him.
Yeah, but what are you really expecting from him, though?
I guess more like a Casemiro type ghost, but Casemiro is just a fantastic asset. I don't think he's going to deliver.
I feel like Casemiro is going to benefit from Amrabat, actually.
True. He has been in the goals consistently. Yeah? He scored again today.
Assist. Yeah.
What is up with this guy?
Like, do it in the league, man. Save it for the league. Come on.
True. I guess, yeah, Amrabat will probably be my closest drop. But I'm still willing to give it at least a 2 game weeks when he gets the starts. So I'm really looking at like Barkley. If Barkley doesn't start, for example, do I just drop? Maybe not. Or Doughty. Like, I don't think Luton have that many spaces that they're going to play all these assets. Giles, Doughty, Barkley. So I'd probably just keep the one that's starting. I luckily can drop Gusto because he's suspended. I did that and picked up Aaron Ramsey just like you did, but we're not in the same league together. And I also swapped out Kaminsky because I grabbed Kaminsky early, planning ahead for the double game week, and he's done absolutely nothing. Like, what did he get me? 1 point and then 2 points?
Yeah.
That's garbage. So I just dropped him.
Yeah.
Pope was free, shockingly. Grab Pope and I'll just ride out Pope for the rest of the season.
I love that we both have Aaron Ramsey assets, though, so that's exciting.
I mean, 9, was it 9.5 or something?
9.
That's attractive. Like,
Yeah,
good
very
enough for
much
me.
so. Yeah.
Double game week coming up. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, going back to your whole that list of players, I dropped Iwobi, right? And I'll get to my update for that. I agree. There is definitely a productive Fantrax asset in there, and I feel like every time he comes on the pitch for Fulham, he kind of adds something to the game. He changes the dynamic for them.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of backed into a corner where I had like Tony, Jackson, Gakpo, Maxi, and Iwobi was my bench. And 2 of those don't start. Gakpo's not nailed. McAtee there's potential, but I feel like streaming could get me better results. So I'm like, basically Maxi is my only option to bring off the bench, right? So I was just like, I feel like I was just backed into a corner. So that's why I dropped Iwobi. But listen, if you can afford to hold, and this league isn't as important, no offense, guys, if you're from the Banter Boys League and you're listening to this, but I feel like you can afford to wait, sort of thing, like you said, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the benefit in this league is you have an IR spot, right? So that's where Ross Barkley is for me right now.
Right.
Whereas DPL is a lot more competitive, no IR spot. So you have to kind of make those moves.
I mean, if I was to drop somebody, I would probably drop Amrabat first, because I genuinely don't think like
he's going to.
I'm not expecting a lot. Yeah, I'm expecting something similar to like a Fabinho, who else was like a shit CDM sort of option. Basically, anyone but Rodri and Casemiro.
Okay, fair. Yeah, all the CDMs.
All the CDMs.
Like that 3 to 5 point range, right?
Yeah, basically. It's your team's in enough control that you don't have actual work to do, sort of thing. And you don't get forward enough to get the odd key pass here and there or have a shot at goal, sort of thing. So, I could be wrong, because United are shit and they probably won't have as much of the ball. So you might end up with a Souček sort of CDM instead.
So, I mean, it's funny, right? Like, and we'll probably get to this kid. Well, I shouldn't say kid, but this guy when we get to the waiver picks. But Sean Longstaff, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's the next one who does the most sometimes. Like, he goes... I say not kid because he's been in the Premier at least a while now, right? Like, he's no longer a kid in my eyes. Yeah. But, he's still just 25. He's been in a Newcastle side where he's delivered, like, those 3 to 5 point ranges for consistently for weeks.
Yeah.
And then he's also always popped up with some ridiculous games where he just has a lot of key passes, gets an assist here, couple shots on target, or some something crazy, right? I guess that's kind of what I'm expecting from Amrabat, but it's like inconsistency like that, but the potential to do well still. So I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I get where you're coming from.
But at this point, I still would prefer Sean Longstaff over him. Like if I had to grab an asset, right?
So my only concern though with Longstaff is I feel like don't let the points fool you. Look at the fact that the ghost points aren't as much as we think they are, sort of thing.
Fair. Because I guess a goal and assist to when he put up 18 points, like, yeah,
that's
true.
nothing, right?
That's truly nothing. But how long is Joel Linton out for? I don't even know.
I don't think they're gonna rush him before the international break. Surely not. They don't really have to be honest. They have a decent
Tonali, Bruno,
yeah, Anderson, right?
Right, exactly. So I'm okay with Longstaff, to be honest. Like he's popped up. Anyway, we'll get into that in the waiver picks. But essentially, if I was faced with Amrabat versus Longstaff, which I am right now in this league, I am holding Amrabat mostly because I spent one fab on him. But I'd be okay with either one, to be honest.
Yeah,
and Longstaff is probably nailed right now.
Yeah, so. I would think so. Yeah. With your other moves, like the Kaminsky to Pope thing, no fucking brainer. I don't understand how Pope's free in your league. That's crazy. That's wild to me. But yeah, I mean, I'd hold Palmer, I'd hold Jota, I'd hold Ferguson. Barkley, I'm on the fence with. Also, I think you dumped way too much money. No, this is the league you didn't dump too much money.
No. Yeah, this one was reasonable.
Okay. But yeah, I would say hold those three, and everyone else is like you can kind of consider dropping. That's where I'm at least at this point of the season.
Fair enough.
Like I'm just at the point where I need to stop being emotionally attached to like value, sunk cost fallacy, all that sort of jazz. Like, let's just try different things, see how it goes, have a bit of fun, have flexibility in my team during the game week, like drop people that aren't starting, so you have an open spot up until the last game, because sometimes that makes a difference, man. Like I hate having to end the game week with all my players playing out and just waiting and watching my opponent slowly inch towards my total. Like fuck that. Like that is a very nerve-wracking thing to go through. So
it happened to me last game week. I almost dropped Palmer just to free up that spot. And then, you know what? I was like, I'm going to ride this out. Like, it'll be fine. But man, it was worrying. It's always tense.
I mean, quick update from me for IGL. Oh, by the way, the IGL Cup started as well. I didn't even realize that. Luckily, like they're not doing double game week stuff. But I mean, I'm not gonna go through like what my IGL opponent did because it's always gonna be different, and I don't even know who the hell this guy is. So, I mean, no offense, but I won that one. So, I mean, in terms of the league performance, I won 121 to 76.
Wow.
Sorry, what?
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It was a bit brutal. Yeah, it was a bit brutal. Yeah, his team didn't do well. I mean, he had Evan Ferguson as well, Antonio Papisar, Chick Decore, Udogi did fuck all as well in the North London derby. So he kind of struggled a bit, but for me, game week good. Virgil van Dijk, we touched on him, 27.25 points despite no clean sheet. He got the assist, so it's like all ghosties.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes doing the business. I know we were criticizing him, questioning him as a first round pick, and what a fucking finish for that volley, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So nice.
Like Van Persie-esque, eh?
Too nice. Like I don't like it seemed like such a fluke goal because Evan to put up that ball and then Bruno to finish that one time. Oh man.
Johnny Evans, by the way, what the hell is this guy doing back in United?
Yo, if there was like I was so annoyed. I had 2 United defenders already in Dalo and Regulio. But I would have I would have picked up free agent Johnny Evans just for the lol.
Yo, on his day, he's an absolute monster.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly. Oh, it's too good. Again, we touched on Beto, how good he goes. Like, just to worry about the minutes. Regrets, nothing I would say. So like my concerns were like whether or not I keep Iwobi. Do I trade Gakpo? Because like I have like 6 forwards in this team. And do I keep patience with Cho? Obviously I do, because I was a little concerned he got benched. But I mean, this is Man City, so I mean maybe I shouldn't have expected points. I didn't start him anyways. So So, I mean, my FA/waiver picks were basically, again, in this one, I dropped McAtee and dropped Iwobi. I got Nakamba for the double game week. We talked
Good
about,
grab.
him just racking up tackles, should get
Yep.
around 12 to 15 points. I'd be happy with that. And then I got James Garner for 0 fab, which absolutely shocked me.
You did speak of Harrison back. Maybe
yeah.
that's what managers are worried about, but yeah,
Yeah.
0. He shouldn't be 0.
Yeah. So I was wondering what to do with Gakpo. So I was wondering whether I should just approach the manager that has Alex Moreno, because I have Digne and Cash, and we keep talking, off air about worrying about rotation. One of these guys are eventually gonna get benched, but Digne's playing every fucking game in every fucking competition and smashing it.
Yeah, there's so much hype still around Moreno, and I don't get it. If I owned. Yeah, I mean,
he's
in one of our questions, right?
Yeah.
He's still a good
Emery's guy.
asset.
He's still a good asset. Yeah,
but
agreed.
I'm not thinking he has trade value. I'm not thinking he's a nail start or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll get into it in the questions.
Yeah, for sure. All right. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Do you have anything else to add, or shall we take our halftime pint?
No, let's do it. Fine.
All right. Guys, so then we will be right back after the break with questions and picks. So we'll see you in a bit. And we are back.
That cough syrup pint was great.
Yeah, but was Buckley's? Is that what you're taking these days?
Robitussin.
Robitussin, nice. Are you actually taking medication though? Is it that bad?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I mean, you could always go old school, right? A bit of ginger, a bit of lemon, a bit of honey.
I mean, are you making my tea or is this work, yo?
FedEx, UPS, right?
Fair.
Bush bath, there's so many different remedies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, man, we got so many questions. I freaking love everyone. This is great. I think instead of just splitting Discord, Twitter, let's just take turns.
Yeah. I'm gonna get slated. I was not about to say so many questions. I'm definitely gonna get bashed here.
All right, I will start with the first one then. So from our Discord, Draft Espresso, his question is dark horses. Burnley and Luton assets that might be under the radar or undetectable to science.
Nice. I guess Nakamba is definitely one, right? No XG, no XA.
Yeah.
Because that's not the kind of player he is. But he's still going to tick along like a steady Eddie. And in those 2 games, 7-7, 14 points. Boom. Why not?
Yeah.
The ones that we grabbed, like Doughty, I grabbed early, but I'm not against Doughty if he starts. If he doesn't start, I'd probably drop. Not going to play a Luton asset for 1 fixture in the double game week. But
yeah.
I also have Barkley in that game, so I kind of have a handcuff there, I would think.
Yeah.
And then who was the last one? Oh, Aaron Ramsey, right? Yeah, such a productive 1 game when he finally got his start. So, and of course they brought him in knowing that they're going to play this kid, right? So
yeah, apparently he's better than Jacob, right? So
yeah, exactly. So those are the few I'm going to shout, but I know we kind of talked about them already. I guess. Who would I want to throw out that we haven't talked about? I'm not going to mention Kaminsky because damn, that was bad time.
Yeah, fuck that.
Luton must have one more.
What about Jacob Brown or Issa Kabore?
I was going to say Kabore is not a bad asset. He got the assist finally, an attacking return.
But only 6.5 points though.
Yeah, but they always concede, right?
Yeah, fair.
What else?
What about the one I wrote about, Chidozie Ogben?
Yeah, I don't think he starts though. I'm skeptical that he.
But he started the last game, got 90 minutes, 9.5 points.
I know.
So I don't know.
I just don't know how you go from 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, 10 points. Sorry, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Sub appearances to 90, right? I just don't expect that to stay.
Yeah. It's going to be a gamble, I guess. If he's benched in this first game, do you gamble on starting him and hoping for appearance in the second one?
I can't do that. So,
yeah.
I might have shouted Mads Anderson and he also didn't start, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm going back to the likes of Doughty, Giles and Barkley, because I think that's one spot for those three players who will kind of dominate sets.
Okay, I mean, you're talking about being hesitant to start Ogben, but we go back to the example of Lyle Foster. He's not going to play that face of the double game week.
Yeah, but
are you going to start Lyle?
I would start Lyle, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that. I feel like also Luton assets probably have better fixtures than Burnley, right?
Burnley, they do. Burnley-wise, Koleosho is looking good on the eye. Productive, but not necessarily the best ghoster.
Yeah, he gets subbed a bit early. He dribbles a lot. That's his ghost points, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the odd key pass here and there. Amdouni, most shots of all Burnley players.
Fair. I guess he's kind of stepped up too while Lyle has been out, but
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not that excited about Burnley.
Josh Brownhill, a bit higher percentage owned on corners, got some key passes, got a bit of ghosties.
Did he start? I thought he did.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he did. Oh,
Yeah.
solid game,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Right?
Brownhill, people were high on Brownhill while drafting, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So-
he was a bit of a beast last time he was in the Prem as well, right? Towards the latter end of the season, from what I remember. I don't know if I touch any of the defenders. Same thing with like Trafford.
Same. Yeah, I'd just avoid.
Yeah.
Save yourself the pain.
Cool. All right. Next question then.
So next up is DJ. That's his Discord handle. Is Gabriel Martinelli still a round 1 to round 2 draft value player?
I would think so, yeah. Like, I'd still want him in, like, the second round. Definitely not first round.
Yeah, not first round, I guess. Now that we've seen what other players are delivering, like Neto. But
Yeah.
I guess, is he asking this because he's injured?
Maybe? Because, I mean, that's sometimes how people assess their trades as well, right? They're like, oh, well, I drafted him in this round, so he's definitely matched that sort of value, which I don't agree with. Like, that's the reason you grabbed him, like, then, like, because you rated him that highly, or maybe he showed once that he has that value, but I think values can change, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes
like if you're doing a draft now, you're not going
Yeah.
KDB in first round.
Like, you grab Neto in the 13th round. Are you going to give me, what, I don't know, Lewis Dunk for Neto? No.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah, I agree with you. He is still a second round pick in my eyes. Early second for me.
yeah.
Just because Arsenal are that like productive, and he's, in my opinion, still a first team player, right? Nailed, for
Yeah.
lack of a better word.
Easily have trade value for him. Like,
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and I mentioned Neto. When we were talking about Tarkowski top in the game week, I kind of just glanced at the highest scoring players so far in the game. Do you know where Neto falls?
Fourth?
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
Above who? Like, who do you think is above? Okay, so who do you think is above Neto?
Haaland,
Right.
Madison,
Right.
Saka.
Okay. So Neto beats everybody else. Like, he beats Salah, he beats Alvarez.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Because this kid was, like, he was percentage drafted. He was only drafted in 55% of leagues.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame people for being doubtful, right?
Me too.
There was so much turmoil going on at Wolves. He had such a shit last season, getting re-injured. Like, it could have easily happened again, right?
Yeah, for sure. Just crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Some man has just
Absolutely wild.
benefited like crazy.
Massively.
Anyway.
You're either like, I don't know, absolutely dominating your league, or he saved your season.
Yes.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next question from Jurist29. Last season I had Saka, Madison, Mitoma, and Trippier. Any tips to deal with the heartache of watching them on other teams this season? That is a fucking sick core of players though. Like
That was I guess you can get Matoma late because nobody knew about Matoma last year.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you guys,
that's how I got
you guys
him.
were plugging.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But you should not have gotten Saka and Madison and Trippier. You could have gotten two of them.
Yeah.
One is a first round, Trippier, and later. It wasn't first round last season. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a crazy. Anyway, crazy quadruple to have. I don't have any attachment to players really. Like, I can comfortably not see them in my team and feel okay about them doing well in draft. Like, actually, if anything, I have PTSD. Like, Darwin Núñez destroyed my season. Like, I should have traded him so high last season. Didn't. I own him again this season and he's still rotation prone. And I'm like, what do I do? Managers have offered me so much fab for him. And I'm like,
but does it matter if he doesn't start Ryan?
I guess. It's just PTSD, man.
Yeah.
But I don't get the heartache side of things. So I don't know. Maybe you can answer this one better.
I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I think every season we play this game, the slightly you get attached to the side bit you care, it just fantasy happens, life happens. It'll kick you back down. You'll learn to like get tougher skin and just realize that all of this is just a game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't encourage gambling, and maybe I should insert a, be responsible, 18 plus or whatever, but I don't know, stick like a $5 on any of these guys to get an attacking return on some random betting site. And if they do fucking get something, then you win. Like,
not bad. That's actually a good idea. You say this, but then you've been toting or like, what is another word for toting? You've been bitching and complaining.
Carrying feelings.
Yeah. You've been moaning about not getting Maddison in draft because you really wanted him, and you owned Maddison last season. So you do want Maddison back. I know you're trying to trade for him right all now.
Badly, man. One of the managers in our IGL league is, and I know he's listening to this pod because he hit me up the other day. He's like, bro, why are you picking all the players that I'm like picking up on waivers? Are you like following my team and mentioning on the pod? No, I'm not. We're just, on the same wavelength. But he's basically offering Maddison 2 for 1. And in my team, when I look at it, like, I think my first pick, like, it's Bruno. I'm not going to give you Bruno +1 for Maddison. Like, no, that I think Bruno equal Maddison, like, eventually it'll even out sort of thing. And then, so, like, my next set of best or better players are, like, Mbeumo and Jensen. So, like, I offered him, Mbeumo and Jensen together for Maddison. And I'm not surprised he didn't take it, but it's hard to, like, get Maddison unless you're giving up, like, a lot. Like a lot. It's going to be very, very tough. Like, so, I mean, how am I dealing with this heartbreak? Not sure. I don't know. I like, now I'm kind of okay with it because, like, my other assets are kind of performing, and, like, obviously it sucks because I was really hoping in, like, even our league, right? I was hoping that Maddison fell to me because I would have taken Eze and Maddison together, right? But I'm not upset. Look, like, I got Trippier, and look, Trippier paid off as well. So, also, like, isn't it a little concerning that Maddison keeps complaining about these little niggles here and there, having to go for scans here and there? Like, that would...
I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah, it concerns me a little bit, right? But listen, great player, great pick, like, absolute gold. Like, yeah, I would love to own him, but I don't know, maybe I should take my own advice, take a $5 on Maddison to get attacking returns and just win.
I guess the only other thing I'd say too is they almost all have like a backup, right? Like let's think who's Mitoma's backup? I guess Ansu Fati, maybe.
Yeah.
Trippier's backup is what, like Livra?
Yeah, not even close, but yeah.
Not even close, but like,
yeah.
That's who I would pay attention. Like, if you really want a player similar to like those, just watch for an injury, because I think Maddison's is coming, but like, you're probably not going to be able to pick up his replacement quickly. They're probably gone already, right? Like, they'll probably shift around and get Solomon in the squad or Brennan or something, right?
I know Brennan has a knock or whatever, right?
Yeah,
I think
he
Brennan's
does.
injured too, so...
But still,
Yeah, I don't know.
my
It's
point was
interesting.
maybe like if ever like Vieira became kind of a starter for Arsenal, like I would have been watching those guys
Yeah.
and grabbing early on those guys just to try and get a piece of that player that I'm missing now.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same, but kind of the same.
Yeah. I mean, you could always drink your problems away as well.
True.
I don't condone alcoholism, but so
You do.
yeah, a little bit. Next question.
Sorry. Oh, okay. No. I was gonna say all of your cultures except India, like heavy drinking cultures.
Well, India too, man. The part of India where my family's from, they drink
Oh, yeah.
like fish.
Okay.
So
Okay, cool. Guess it's in your blood.
yeah. All right. Do you want to take the next one?
Squirtle did it. Oh man, that's such a good username.
That's his name. Yeah.
I have Adingra, Beto, Nunez, Alvarez, and Rashford as my forwards, and I'm looking to improve my midfield. What midfielders could I target with any of these forwards? I also have Grealish, who I would not mind throwing into the mix of any trades. Thank you.
Improve his midfield. I'd keep Alvarez.
Yeah.
I'd keep Rashford.
I'm not so sure.
So I guess if you want to improve your midfield, you're gonna have to give up a good asset to get a good asset.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're keeping Alvarez. Okay, keep Alvarez, keep Nunez, and maybe offer the rest.
For me, it's keep Alvarez and one of Nunez or Rashford.
Yeah.
And then, the rest I can play with.
Yeah.
Like, Rashford Nunez for someone, a good midfielder, I'd take.
Yeah, I mean, but what are you gonna take with that? Like Rashford Nunez?
I don't know.
Could you maybe target an Eze?
Yeah, Bowen or Eze. Like Rashford Bowen or Rashford Eze.
Yeah, but I'm worried about Bowen's ghosties and all that. JWP is like dominating all the set
It's
pieces.
not that
Man.
great. It's not that great. I wouldn't
Yeah.
lie. As an owner, every single league I'm in,
I'd rather be trading Bowen out on a high right now, honestly.
yeah,
with
but
a
it's
couple of
Sheffield
good
next.
fixtures. Yeah. So trade after that, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. He also has Grealish, who I would not mind throwing into the mix of any trade. I would keep Grealish, honestly, I know
Same.
like Doku's like started hot and all. I mean, if anything, go get Doku, so you kind of nail that spot, right?
That's not bad. I'd also keep Grealish, but
Doku
If,
for
like-
Nunez, maybe 1-for-1. If
I wouldn't want to give up Nunez for that.
yeah,
like,
I
I
mean,
don't-
you've
I'm
got
not
like
that high
emotional
on Doku.
attachment to him as well, Nunez.
I
so-
guess PTSD attachment, but anyway, like okay, if managers, I think right now Grealish is a trade low. Like I don't think managers hold him in the same highest esteem anymore, right? Like he's not considered a first round pick.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but I don't think you'd get enough trade value to throw Grealish into the mix here and make it worth it. I think you have to kind of wait and Grealish to come back and do bits.
Yeah. I'm wondering what other mids you could get for like
Jensen,
a
you can
Nunez,
definitely
Rashford.
get. Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
the owner of Jensen will throw him out. I don't know if he sustains that full season, but Jensen's doing great.
I take Jensen.
Um,
Maybe get a
like
McNeil.
McNeil's not bad. Eze's not bad. Like that talismanic player from a particular side who's on sets.
Yeah. I'm wondering who else. Just pulling on midfielders. I don't. What about a Mitoma? Like a Rashford for
Ooh.
Mitoma situation.
I would take that in a heartbeat, but I don't think you're getting that.
James Ward-Prowse. Maybe you could try
I was
for.
thinking that too, but I don't think you're getting him either.
Yeah. Or Bylon, Solly March while he's out injured, sort of thing.
That I don't mind, but so much rotation from Brighton nowadays, huh?
Yeah. I don't mind a Ducore as well. Or a
Ugh.
Slabasly. No, not Ducore. He's very involved, He passes the eye test for sure.
He does. It's just, I guess, again, bad way to look at it, but where would you have drafted Ducore?
Oh, very late. But again, we talk about like not where you drafted him, right?
Yeah,
Current
I know
value
it's
sort
not,
of thing.
yeah, you're right. I don't know. I still don't think Ducore keeps that up all season. Like, I'd rather wait until see Harrison when he's back. What that does for Doucouré.
Yeah. Or Bailo and Rodri while he's out.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Cool. All right. Sweet. Yeah. Hold Grealish. I'd say don't lose the faith yet. Like rotation is coming for sure. So.
Or if he gets a start, does well, then try.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sweet. So the next question is Hazard FC. So his question is, how many players is too many players from the same team when it comes to roster construction? I have March, Mitoma, Ferguson, and Ansu Fati. Would you try and trade and make it more varied? I'm on 3-game losing streak. Can you provide some trade suggestions?
Okay. For me, too many. How many is too many? 11. Anything less than 11, I'm okay with. Like, if City players were nailed, I'd take 10 of them, no problem. I mean, maybe not the full defense, right? Like, you don't want 4 defenders from City, but if you could get 7 City attackers, I'd take that, man. And Brighton is probably the second most attacking, or maybe then Poole and then, like, Newcastle or something. But
Top
Brighton's
4,
up there.
I'd say, right?
Top 4,
Yeah.
exactly. Arsenal, Brighton, Liverpool, City, right? March, Mitoma, Ferguson, and Fati. That's a great 4 players to have.
I kind of love that like stack.
Yeah. Mitoma and Fati kind of handcuff each other. March is injured, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
doing bits when he was fit, I'd hold for sure. Ferguson's probably the one I'm least keen on there, or mostly because you kind of have to carry Fati, but I'd be comfortable holding that and just wait out the injury. So based on those players alone, I can't really suggest trades, but if you absolutely want to get rid of them, really mix it up, I would try to trade March out while he's out, maybe. See how good you can get there. But that's a solid asset you're trading out if you do.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. Like, because I think there was a bit of a response as well to this question on our Discord. Because, like, I mean, obviously it's a lot more worrying because they're in Europe. They're going to prioritize that competition. You're going to see a lot of rotation. There's a chance, all of these guys could be benched on their day. And you might just have to stick them out and hope for the best sort of thing. So it is a little worrying. So I think if you were to maybe try and trade, I'd probably... I mean, obviously you want to keep your best assets, that sort of thing. Like, and I'd say maybe hold Mitoma and trade out the rest. But maybe gamble on holding March and trade out the rest?
Nah. Well, okay, you can get the most value from Mitoma in that sense.
Yeah.
He didn't even
because
start
he's fit
this
and
game
firing,
week, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's fit and firing, and likely if you were an owner, you didn't play him this game week because you saw he didn't start.
Yeah.
I guess you don't want that to happen to you again. So fine.
Yeah.
But I think he has the handcuff. I mean, Ansu Fati did not start this game week either, so I'm saying handcuff and it didn't work. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, like, because I think for the Ferguson one, you're going to want to maybe handcuff Welbeck or handcuff João Pedro, but João Pedro ain't fucking playing, and Welbeck doesn't ghost well enough. So, like, it's a very tough situation to be in. So, maybe you pair Mitoma and Fati and try to get something else, like, try and get, like, a James Ward-Prowse and then stream the other position with a free roster spot or something like that.
Perhaps, yeah. That could work.
Yeah.
I do think you're... like higher ceiling here, but I agree with the strategy.
Yeah, like it's always tough with trades, man. Because again, you always want to keep your best assets, right? But you got to give up good assets to get good assets. So
for sure.
Yeah,
and it's either you target stability or you target those players who can absolutely smash it, but then also have weaker game weeks.
Yeah,
it's whatever you want.
Yeah. All right, sweet. You want to take the next question?
From George. What trade value do you give to players like Adingra, Solomon, and Brennan Johnson? What do they have? Is Elliot Anderson a hold at this point? 2 questions.
Well, I guess Brennan Johnson is a drop right now. I've seen him drop in like leagues. I don't know if he has trade value right now, to be honest.
Right, okay.
I don't think anyone's gonna take him. Like, I don't think you're gonna play for him. You maybe get some fab,
Couple fab,
few fab. Like, it depends how much that is important to you. Solomon, I think, definitely does have value.
Yeah.
But I'd be hesitant to let him go versus
The others.
Yeah. Like, okay, I mean, trade value for Solomon though, like maybe you could, and again, this is because people associate like, where players are drafted and that sort of stuff. But I'm just looking at the output and the attacking football that Spurs are playing. Do you think it's too bold to try and get like an injured Martinelli for Solomon right now?
I don't think you'll get it, but try, yeah. If it's like a Spurs
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get it
sorry,
either.
yeah, Spurs fan, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Spurs and Arsenal, I don't see how that trade works out, but anyway.
Yeah. But you see my point though, like as in Solomon's putting up good numbers. He will continue to put up good numbers. He's probably not going to be nailed, but...
That's the worry, right? He didn't start this last game week, so that kind of pegs him down a notch. But before that, he was a great asset. Solomon's a tricky one, yeah. I would hold though, if I were the owner.
Or one of the City assets that rotates as well.
True.
Like one of those assets that even though they rotate on their day, they'll fucking smash it, just like Solomon's doing right now. Adingra, I don't know. I feel like that's a weird one. Like he could easily be benched any day. Like I'd probably just keep him as an option, I think.
To me, Adingra is kind of streamable even.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get much trade value, but if he starts, great.
Yeah.
I think he's slightly higher than a streamer because how frequently he's played so far, but that type of player.
He's definitely one you can sell high right now.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And then Elliot Anderson, I think he's streamable. Like I wouldn't be really too hard pressed on like keeping him, and like I think you can always just grab and drop and that sort of stuff. I don't think he's nailed. Like players are gonna come back, Champions League, all that sort of stuff. Like on his day, he'll ghost here and there, but I think he's droppable, right?
Me too. I grabbed him against you, and then I dropped him right after that.
Yeah. All right. Next question is from another one from Jers29. With Rodri suspended for the match versus Wolves, who do you think Pep will bring into midfield? Kovacic and Nunez seems likely, but is there any chance Phillips or Lewis breaks into the team, especially if Kovacic is still out?
Yeah, I guess I don't know the Kova news well enough, but I do think the preferred pairing would be Kova and Nunez, right? If Kova is out, I guess they will have to make use of someone else. Does Calvin finally get a start, yo?
I mean, he's playing so many games for England because Southgate refuses to drop anyone from his Euro-winning team. Like, not winning. Final team. Let me not put false information out there, guys. England did not win the Euros. Okay.
You sure?
Well, the female team did. So the women's team. So
true.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think Calvin breaks in. Maybe Rico Lewis gets another random game. And
honestly, I have no idea what to expect with fucking Pep, man.
Honestly, I mean, he started, what's his name, in UCL, man. Sergi Gomez.
Yeah.
Like, Pep's a madman.
John Stones might be back and he might play.
Oh, is he back? Oh, well
I think he has a solid red flag, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh man, I didn't buy low.
Yeah, so I mean, there's an update September 20th. So Stones is expected to return for Saturday's match against Nottingham Forest. Isn't too surprising as City don't need to rush him back from muscle injury. He might miss the month. Appears to be close as there's no re-injury, but should be available in the next week or two. Solid red flag, like maybe.
And that was on the
maybe.
20th of September, so
Yeah, maybe. We'll see with, like, they play the cup game tomorrow as well, right? Depending on when you listen to this, they play Newcastle. So if he's on the bench, like, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, that's fair. And we should get presses, so
Yeah. Yeah. So honestly, it's free for all with Pep, man. Who fucking knows with this guy? All right. Do you want to take the next one?
okay, from YoG8. YoGate. I guess he needs to tell us how to pronounce this anyway. What do you think of Gakpo? You own him, so good that you're taking this one.
Yeah.
He was on the bench for both the Europa League and then again against West Ham.
We definitely didn't plan that, eh?
No, we did not.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with Gakpo, man. Like, you're not dropping him. That's madness.
No, you have to trade him if you're getting rid.
And you have to trade him to, like, a Liverpool owner or fan or, like, someone who owns, like, a Darwin Nunez or, like,
Exactly.
a Jota.
Yeah,
Like, give them
Jota,
that handcuff thing. Yeah.
Even Jota owner probably wouldn't take him because they both benched in Europa
Yeah.
and then both benched in West Ham.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's really Nunez.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I'm a Jota owner and you're both. You own both in different leagues. It's not a good time, but Jota scoring off the bench is very exciting. Still,
yeah, and it's frustrating because I took him like second round as well, right? So I honestly don't know what to do with that. Honestly, you probably again target someone that has Nunez or try and get some fab for him.
Fair.
I think that's probably your best bet.
Fab is not a bad idea. Or just hold, one injury away from becoming gold.
Yeah. Okay. So Bobby89, great picture, great handle. Is March dropping in value? Is he still top 15, top 20 pick asset?
So we kind of just discussed this, but I do think his value is there when he's fit and able to play.
Yeah.
So is he still a top 20 asset? I think just.
If he's fit, yeah.
I mean,
I undervalued him this season massively going into the draft, right? I didn't think he was going to put it up. And we talked about it like start of the season. Like there's, there was some injury. He barely played preseason.
Injured,
yeah.
And I mean, injured. Anyway.
Injured? Maybe. I don't know. That's a word, surely.
He was injured.
No, but like, we were kind of right in a sense. Like, he's got a reoccurrence of that fucking injury from last season.
But he absolutely smashed it when he just started with this no recovery time. Like, just came right back into the squad. And they have a bit more depth now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I still think he will play when fit. He's the starter. He's the main guy. But is he top 20? For me, he's on the edge of 20, man.
I would say he's just on the outside of 20 versus the inside. Like, I think we maybe got genuinely surprised with some assets by the season because, like, Neto's now in top 20, right?
Neto's definitely top 20. Jensen's getting there. Like,
Yeah. The fact that he doesn't get injured, he's a bit consistent, set pieces, he has attacking returns. Julian Alvarez, top 20. We would have never said that start of the season.
For sure. Yeah, I guess, I think you're right. He does drop just outside top 20. True. It's a competitive time.
Yeah, it really is a competitive time.
Okay.
Okay, sweet. Okay. So, do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, I'll take the next one. Subatomic Squash. I know the pod is high on Wissa. Good, we just talked about him. I roster him, but it's feast or famine for Wissa. Agree completely. Where do you stand on him now? Are we still believers? Where would we rank him versus Rashford, Sterling, or Awoniyi?
I mean, believer as in like, I wouldn't lie, I'm a little concerned. Not because it's him, it's Brentford. Like, just all their injuries and everything. And like, I feel like they could tweak something in tactics. Like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, it would not surprise me if Neil Maupay or Maupay or whatever you want to pronounce that gets minutes and gets starts, man, because they have so many people fucking injured. Like, what if they go like 3-5-2 and play both Wissa and him up top, and then Mbuemo was like the right wing back or whatever?
No, yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, being high as in like, I still trust Brentford as a team. I still trust Thomas Frank. Like, I think if you own, you might have to give it some time, be patient. I think you might have been a bit too late to kind of trade him out on a high after the first couple of game weeks. So now you might just have to wait it out, see how they kind of manage things. Yeah, I mean, you're the Wissa owner, right? What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, so I luckily have enough depth to carry him for maybe another 2 game weeks and not have to worry. I am low on him, much lower than I have been. Like, he just put up a good ghost game, then he came back to his 2 points rubbish. I don't really think there's much trade value. Where would I rank him? I don't know, man. He's below Rash. He's below Sterling for me. He goes as well as Sterling, probably. Awoni,
He's probably better than Sterling, man.
Yeah, maybe. Awoni, I think he's higher than, because I think Awoni's purple patch is finally over. I say that. Didn't he get an assist?
Not with the City. City kept the clean sheet, right?
Oh, that was last game week then.
Last game week, yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
It wouldn't surprise me if he comes back to attack and returns again. So
yeah, true.
Yeah,
but he doesn't go as well either.
No, he doesn't. So it's it's an interesting one. I mean, yeah, like you said, Rash above everyone else. I'm gonna say Rash, Sterling, Awunya, Wissa. I'm gonna put Wissa last. Sorry.
Okay, that's fair. I would put Wissa right before Awunya, but
yeah. I mean, I put the others before him because I think minutes nailed. I think just Brentford in dilemma right now.
Okay,
like
I was gonna say this. I think Brentford's a better team than Forest, so.
Yeah, I agree. On that day, everyone's fit, better team. But right now, it's like everyone's just dropping off like as flies. So, yeah.
Right.
Okay, next question. Obi Nice. What do we think about Moreno? I have an offer for him for 6 fab, but I'm worried he will just burn a hole in my roster and not start.
Right. We just talked about this too. As in, he's getting him for 6 fab, right? I would not take that. Like, keep your money. Don't have the headache in your roster. Because it does seem like Luka is getting starts. He's probably not going anywhere anytime soon until real fixture congestion comes their way. Which could be soon, but... yeah, I'm more keen on Luka at the moment. If you own, I wouldn't drop though. Not for 6 fab, but...
I think ask for double or nothing.
So he owns Moreno? I'm confused by what he's saying.
I think he owns Moreno.
Oh, so he wants to sell him for 6. Okay.
Yeah, so somebody's offering him 6 fab for Moreno.
I wouldn't take 6. I'll take
6
maybe 10.
Yeah, 10 to 15 is what I was thinking, yeah. You could do something with 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surely, or you can get some sort of like decent forward that's not ghosting well but is nailed in that sense, right?
Yeah, or just target a Dino owner and just force a trade there.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Go lower value, but at least you get something out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, but don't take the $6. You can do better.
I mean, we spent $6 on a random waiver pickup that just didn't pan out and dropped it back, like all of us have. So that's literally nothing.
Yeah, Moreno's too good of an asset to give away that cheaply. So, all right, let's go with a question from one of our regulars, fan favorites, Draft Tash. So he stashed Broya in a couple of leagues at the weekend. Do we think he'll get a start in Game Week 7 instead of Miss Jackson? And then his other question is, after picking up a loss and dropping my 100% record to a Sven Botman goal, what's the most annoying defeat you guys have taken in your fantasy careers?
Ooh, I love that second question. I don't remember it that much, but first one, Broja, whatever his name is, I do think he starts because what are the other options? Unless I hope Palmer gets a start. But anyway, let me not throw that weirdness into the real world. I was going to say Sterling up top, Palmer in. Anyway, I think Broja starts. And I think he'll do well. And I think then Nico is under some threat. And that will be good for him.
We got a cup game as well before that fixture, right? So
true.
There's a chance maybe Broja gets some minutes off the bench. Just kind of keep an eye on him, look at the stats from some app like SofaScore or some shit like that, and make the judge. But I'm assuming this question came before the booking.
Yeah.
But what's one of the worst, most annoying defeats you've had in your fantasy career?
I had one this season, which was whose hat trick did I bench? I benched Ferguson's hat trick.
Yeah.
But I also had a hat trick in my squad or something. And even playing Ferguson's hat trick would not have given me the win. Something
Haaland,
like that.
Surely.
I think
always
I
own
mixed it up in 2
Haaland.
leagues. I always own Haaland, but anyway. I don't think that was the same league. But in the past, I have had like a 100-point league due to like Haaland's haul. And I watched this guy's roster and it's like, there's no chance I'm in any jeopardy. So I don't go out and I pick up a defender to like cover him off on a defense and they always end up having this random kid, like really not great assets. Like James Garner, where he gets a 40-point game week. Like for some reason, he just had to do that game week. This happened to me at least 3 times now.
Yeah.
And I don't learn my lesson because I never go and handcuff defense or I never go and just do something to solidify the win. I just think, okay, there's just no way my opponent's catching me. And then it happens. But it's happened so many times now that I don't know the specifics anymore.
Man, for me, one comes to mind. I'm pretty sure I lost this game. But it was when Allison scored the goal, the header from the corner. And that's what made me lose my... I think it was a playoff game or something like that. I was just like, I could not fucking believe it. Like,
Right.
And I think it was like on that stretch of me being in that OG league where I was basically losing final after final after final. I mean, that is also some annoying defeats that I've had. Always getting to the playoff final and then losing it. Like, bridesmaid, never the bride sort of situation.
That's fair.
I mean,
would losing to a Sven Botman goal annoy you? No, right?
No, because I mean, I own him in different formats.
But like, I also don't think he's that bad of a player. Like, you think he has goal threat. You think he has that clean sheet potential. So, like, I don't think he did exceptionally well where it wasn't expected, right?
Yeah, I think he got like 22 or something points.
Goal,
like, clean sheets, like
what would annoy me is if the owner picked up Buonanotte or something and Buonanotte put up 40 points. That would piss me the hell off. Like, that's just unheard of.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. It'd be some like random fucking like stream or whatever.
Like the Hannibal. I know draft, like Tash picked up Hannibal. A few guys in the Discord did. If Hannibal put up 40 points, like that would piss me the hell off.
Yeah.
Like his kid's probably going to get 1 start for the season and he does that? No.
Or grabbing Johnny Evans.
Exactly. That would piss me the hell off.
20 points, like.
And like the roller coaster ride with it too because he just scored and like, oh no, my opponent just got a goal. Ruled out, so you're cheering. Oh yeah, my opponent lost his goal. Then to get the assist and then like smash it.
Yeah.
No.
Especially when they didn't even play that well, so.
They did not.
Yeah. Yeah, true. All right. I think we can go to the next question. Oh man, we still have a few more. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I think we might end up racing through our waiver pick section though, like because we've talked about so many of the assets. So
True. And we've talked a lot about these questions, but it's good conversation.
yeah, for sure. All right. You want to take the
Frog
next one?
Toga. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is Isak a buy low target, or is his time shared with Wilson too concerning for his remainder of season value? Rest of season value.
I love that this question fell to me. So like on the TDS stream, we were doing like buy low, sell high, that sort of stuff. And I think I had put Isak and Odegaard as my options that you can like basically try and get rid of now. Because I kind of expected Odegaard to not keep up what he did last season.
Right.
And I mean, for the most part, like he's not in the top 20 players. He's not in the top 40 players.
Ooh.
He's number 46, I think.
Okay.
So I was somewhat right to that extent, right? Because you look at some of his points, like the match versus Arsenal, he got 4.5 points, which had 3 key passes in it and a shot on target, which is crazy. I don't know how that math even maths. But before that, 10.5. Before that, 14 with a goal, 6.5. Then 17.5 with a goal, 2.5 at the start of the season. So I feel like I was still somewhat right in that sense. And which brings me back to my Isak point, because on that same thing, I was just like, I think now's the time to like try and get rid of Isak, because with Champions League around the corner, I feel like they're going to rotate heavily. And I feel like Isak's going to get Champions League and Callum Wilson's going to get the league, and Callum Wilson be a great option to own right now. And that's exactly how it's panning out right now, right? Wilson's getting the EPL minutes. Wilson's getting the goals. And we know how like fucking lethal he is with his like minutes per goal conversion or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I would agree, like Isak's a buy low target thing, and it's definitely shared time, but I think it's just for like this small patch. And once Champions League kind of eases up and stuff like that, once the schedule gets a bit easier, I think eventually they might share the pitch, because like even with the injury to Harvey Barnes, like now Isak can easily play on that left wing as well.
True. That's an interesting one. Didn't think of that. So I think some players though, for example, Callum Wilson, on the flip side of this, like Isak starting, do you start Callum Wilson in your roster? I've seen some managers, I think in Banter League, the owner, might be Megan, religiously started Callum Wilson every game week, even if he's benching, and she got returns from the bench from him consistently. I think there are some players who kind of fall into that category, right? Like Isak got a goal off the bench this game week.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, he's a buy low target. I actually personally don't want to own him because I don't think his minutes are short enough.
He doesn't,
ghost well. Exactly.
Yeah,
He doesn't ghost well enough to own him, even if he were starting, right? So I don't want him. But I think there should be a conversation about players like him, Wilson, Mitoma, who can come off the bench and immediately get a return and impact the game. So, like, Brighton are going to rotate a lot because they're in Europe. Newcastle are going to rotate a lot. And we've seen it both. Yes, you want the starters, but there's still an argument to play the player you own from the off, even if they're benching. And that's where it kind of gets dicey, though.
Yeah.
Maybe not really answering his question, but yeah, I think that warrants a conversation. I don't actually know how the conversation will go, but is he a buy low? He's not a buy low target for me. Yes, you can buy him low, but
You can buy low, yeah.
but he's not the player I want right now. He's not as short of minutes and points even.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, hopefully that answers it. If not, hit us up in Discord and we'll chat a bit more. Because I think you're right. I think this is like we need to have like a fireside, get a bunch of people and see how this conversation unfolds.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we both have similar mindsets and heard things just between the two of us, right? Like,
Yeah.
we talk too often to really form a unique
Yeah.
opinion that is not kind of already shared.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good idea. If you're not, if you just want more discussion on it, hit us up on Discord and let's go.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay, so next question is from Jakob. His handle is Abiokez. I think I did that right. What would you try to do if you've had a really bad start to the season? Asking for a friend, of course.
If you've done nothing wrong, like if you've made sure you're starting 11 players and you're not holding on to players that clearly are drops at this point. So like, when I say are clearly drops, I'm meaning like you need to roster a player. Like you have a concern for this particular game week and you're holding on to Iwobi. Like, no, you drop Iwobi, right? Just to get that 11 player in your squad to make sure you play 11. If you're giving yourself all opportunities to get a result and you're still not getting it, then I think that's just bad luck and wait it out. If you're not making the right calls, like you should have grabbed a player from the bench, you instead decided, let's see if my 10 players covers my opponent's 11, then you need to kind of take a look back at your squad and see, am I really holding on to assets too long? Like,
I mean, jump in our Discord, post a picture of your team, and our community is happy to like give you some input, give you some feedback, right? But I agree with your point, Ryan. Like, luck has a lot to do with fantasy, man. Like, it could just be bad luck, and like, don't beat yourself up about it. Because if you've been playing this game for a while, I'm sure you have some knowledge of your assets and how they perform and all that. Like, it might just be that. Maybe it's not falling your way. And again, it's not that serious. It's just a fucking game, man. It's just a fucking game.
For example, you asked who was top in Banter League, and I went and sent you a screenshot, and it's Nicolan, right? And Nicolan has played 7 players last game week.
Yeah.
Beats a squad that played 11 players somehow.
Yeah.
He played me the week before, beat me, and he only fielded 9 players. Like, he's been consistently not setting his lineups because maybe he's busy at the time, but getting the wins just because he's coming up against one of the lowest scorers each game week. So his points for is like maybe
Mid-table.
7th, 8th. Yeah, 8th in a 12-person league. And somehow he's top of the table by 3 points. Like, that's just kind of unheard of, but there's a lot of luck in it.
Yeah.
It's not going to hold. Like, if you're not setting a proper squad each game week, you're going to pay the price for that very soon. So, if you're doing all you can to give yourself the edge, I don't think you need to worry. It'll turn around and go your way at some point.
Yeah, and I mean, if you've kind of maybe given up on it, try some wild strategy, like drop assets that aren't performing, don't be emotionally attached, and just play that waiver wire or free agency every game week, because there's always random assets that smash it, always.
So I want to go back to like my first Fantrax season. You guys told me I had first waiver pick for like half the season and I waited till the January window, right?
Yeah.
And you guys were making fun of me. I was absorbing losses. And then in the January window, I grabbed someone. I can't remember who. It probably wasn't worth holding on to. But that was before Fab. But I then went on a winning streak because I was finally churning and using my waiver picks. And I went on like a 13-game win streak and I fell short of playoffs by 1 game.
Yeah.
And I came from last to like just short of playoffs. But like, just make sure you aren't sitting on all 100 Fab or you're just not getting involved in waivers, right? Because I do think doing that for too long is the bad strategy as well.
Yeah. That's a good shout, man. Plan for the second half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, there are many things you can do and just take it in stride.
Definitely.
Just for fun.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Love that. All right, next one.
Okay, from Frog Toga again. He tags a bunch of people in this one. I guess Ben, Draft Genie, Draft Society, Will, you.
Yeah.
So I don't know where this was actually posted. Was this our Discord? No, probably not, right?
No, this was on Twitter.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I should have
No worries, no
realized.
worries.
Right. Some panic in my league this weekend. The below people got dropped to waivers. Feel free to rank and assign Fab on the following players. He's interested to see it. So the players that got dropped in his league: Dan Burn, Tarkowski, Havertz, and Van de Ven.
Not touching Havertz.
Neither me.
I would just grab him as a free agent if you're that desperate for a player.
Yeah, he's dead last on that list.
Yeah, I would say Tarkowski, Burn, Van de Ven in that order. Tarkowski, honestly, I would drop up to like 30 of 100 fab on him.
Really?
I think it's an unpopular opinion, but he's a proven asset year after year. He shows he can get monster scores, get attacking returns. I don't know. What are you doing? Like maybe 10 to 15 fab? Listen, I've seen you drop ridiculous amounts on Gravenberch and Barkley. So
yeah, that was a mistake.
Shots fired. Bang, bang.
Guys, I'm down. Man down. Send replacement.
Dan Burn, maybe I drop like 5 to 8 fab on him.
I'd go higher.
Yeah.
Dan Burn, because of the run they have now, it's just too good.
Yeah, fair. Van de Ven, I feel like you could stream that position. I'm not that fussed. Like, grab free agent or maybe 2 to 3 fab sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fine. Van de Ven, yeah, I think 1 fab is, or standard 1-2 fab is good. I'm agreeing with you in terms of the orders: Tarkowski, then Burn, then Van de Ven, then Havertz. Unless another injury comes to that Arsenal lineup, even then I'm not that keen on Havertz out of all the other assets they have.
Same.
And Ketia's still getting minutes, man. Like, why is Havertz even in our discussions? Tarkowski, I'm not as keen as you. I would go up to like maybe 18 fab.
Yeah, that's fair.
Burn, I would go to probably about the same you said, 8 to 10. Van de Ven 1, 2, and Havertz free agent grab.
Yeah, agreed. I just think like Tarkowski's nailed. It's like proven defender year after year. So I know it's not been a great start to the season for them, but I'm a believer. So yeah. All right, sweet. Final question. So we got tagged in this. I think he just randomly tweeted it. Ken P. Bates at Bates Picken. Bates Picken, right? Obviously, that makes sense. It's his name backwards. Basically, his question is Jackson droppable at this point?
I mean, he really wants your take on it, clearly, but
yeah.
Okay, so I am hopeful that Borussia gets into this squad this game week. I'm hopeful he does well, and I'm hopeful Jackson has to earn his spot back, because I think that'll make him a better player. I think he'll work harder. I think there's clearly some elements of his game that needs polish and finish, right? Like, finish is just the end game. But I still think he gets in the right places. He does the right things. There's a quality player in there that I don't think I would drop at this point.
So I heard on a different pod, apparently he's second to Haaland for non-pen XG.
Yeah, for a while, but he's never delivered on it.
No, he's not. But surely the dam has to break at some point.
Does it though? I mean, there have been historically just bad players who are just not clinical, and he could just be one of those. Like, Kai was bad too, and it's the same team, right? Like,
he reminds me of Darwin Nunez in his debut season, though.
But even then, Darwin was still a better player. Like,
yeah, fair. Kid is only 22, though. Eh? He's young.
Right, so I'm saying there's still a good player in there, and I'm not ready to drop if I was on.
I wouldn't drop,
But I'm hoping he reflects with the suspension here and time off, because those yellow cards are so completely unnecessary. Like, the last one was harsh, fine.
Yeah, I think it was harsh,
But some of them were absolutely unnecessary. Fine, he's been spoken to about it, and I hope he addresses it now. But he also needs to just put in some extra work and work on that damn finish, yo. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's a bit of the pressure that's on him on the given day thing, or is he just really not clinical? I mean, some of the runs he makes, some of the movements, it's great.
Yeah.
And he's getting in the right spots. He's getting these chances. So it's a matter of time. Yes, I agree. But something has to give for him to get there. And I don't know if... I'm hoping the competition from Borja brings that about. I'm hoping the time off with the suspension brings that about.
Yeah, that's solid. Would you maybe trade him to a stat head / Chelsea fan?
Perhaps if you get enough value out of him, yes.
Yeah.
Chelsea fan, yes.
Yeah. Cool. Sweet. That's all our questions. Thank you guys so much. That was a fucking mission to go through, but I think it was a great conversation. Probably one of the best sessions of questions we've had, actually.
Probably, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we move on to our final segment, which is the FA / waiver picks. So this segment, we talk about assets that are under 50% owned because we think you have an easier chance of getting them in your leagues. So Ryan's not doing well, so he had to drop off. So I'm going to do this one solo and do it really quickly because we talked about a lot of these assets, right? So let's start with goalkeepers. So two of the assets that are under 50% owned that I kind of was eyeing up was Neto of Bournemouth, as well as Sanchez of Chelsea. So Sanchez has been putting up points, man, regardless of whether they keep a clean sheet or not. And I mean, Neto is a bit mixed, I would say. I know he had like these massive hauls and then all of a sudden he's a bit quiet and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you were to look at the fixtures, Bournemouth is at home to Arsenal. Sanchez is away to Fulham. Honestly, either one is a fair gamble. Like, Arsenal love to shoot. They're probably more clinical than Fulham for sure, right? So maybe I'll go with Sanchez because Fulham really can't score either, and we will continue to concede chances, that sort of stuff. So if you can get Sanchez, maybe go with him. But if you can't, then Neto is maybe a decent backup. Because I know we talked about Fotheringham and all that, but then they got absolutely smashed 8-0, and I don't know what to expect from West Ham because they're on good form as well. So for defenders, Johnny Evans, 2% owned, man. This guy came out of nowhere. I don't know if he's going to keep a spot because, you know, the likes of Maguire, the likes of Varane coming back fit. I would say he should be rewarded with another start. And Crystal Palace really haven't been scoring a lot of goals, even though they look good on the eye, especially Eze. So there's a chance you could possibly get back-to-back clean sheets in United's next two fixtures because they're both at Old Trafford. And again, their next fixtures versus Brentford. I know Brentford had a great start, but given all the injuries and maybe change of tactics, etc., maybe they kind of drop off because they only did score one goal versus Everton. Other assets, maybe you could look at Caboria and Lockyer from Luton Town because of double game week. I don't know. I'm a bit iffy on Luton Town defensive assets. I feel like they will concede in both games, but I'm not sure what to expect. Like, I'd be very hard pressed to be starting them. I'd maybe gamble on some Fulham defensive assets like Robinson and Castagne, 48% owned and 29% owned respectively. Again, like Chelsea are just struggling to score goals, and I think both of those fullbacks are good enough to ghost well enough to offset maybe the one goal that if perhaps we score, right? It looks very unlikely. And then I'd also consider McKenna or Worrell, Nottingham Forest at home versus Brentford, if you believe they can get a clean sheet. McKenna has been ghosting decently enough as well, 16% owned. Then finally, I'd look at the Everton defenders versus Luton Town. Everton, I think that was their first win of the season. Maybe they're on a high, right? And they could probably keep a clean sheet versus Luton. So maybe look at the likes of Mikolenko, 4% owned, or Branthwaite, 5% owned. All right, moving on to midfielders. I know I talked about James McAtee, 8% owned, but again, I'm not sure what to expect. Not getting 90 minutes, but he's showing potential for points, so it's one to kind of monitor moving forward. In terms of Newcastle assets versus Burnley, we talked about Longstaff, but getting attacking returns, not ghosting well, 9% owned. Mejbiri was a streaming option, 14% owned. I'm not convinced. Maybe you are. If you're a United fan, maybe you know better than me. He's still getting ghost points, that sort of stuff. Luton Town, though, I think this is where you could easily stream and grab players, especially for this double game week. Doughty, 18% owned. He's registered the most key passes for them, had an absolute smashing game. And then Nakamba, he's nailed to start. He will play the full game. He's getting points through the defensive work, getting tackles won, that sort of stuff. So he could easily get you double-digit returns, I think, this game week. Garner, 10% owned from Everton. Daesh talked about taking a gamble on him, paid off. He played the full game. He's taking corners from one side of the pitch. So I think it's a good chance for him to kind of maintain his run. It's just I'm worried once Jack Harrison comes back in, what's going to happen. Will Hughes, 1% owned. He's in the team because Lerma's injured, right? I don't know if he's going to keep it once Lerma's back and fit. So it's one to monitor, but he's been ghosting somewhat okay. It's just a bit of a tough fixture versus Manchester United, but maybe he scraps and gets more ghost points in this one. And then Burnley, I like Brownhill, 36% owned, but he's probably going to be taken, I think, in most leagues. So Aaron Ramsey, 1% owned, finally got his start. In around 70 to 75 minutes, he got 9 ghost points. I think that's quite promising. Again, like Ryan said earlier in the pod, there's a reason why they got him, right? So I think given the double game week, I definitely punt on it. Billy G, man, left Chelsea at Brighton, 31% owned. It seems when he starts games, he gets points. Like, if Pascal Gross is still out injured, why not? Like, it's a decent punt. My only concern is it's the first game. Villa are really strong at home. Like, I'm not sure what to expect. Again, when you're listening to this is probably like the EFL Cup game, so kind of monitor whether or not he plays, because I think they play Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken. And then finally, Ryan Christie, 32% owned. I feel like he's probably gone, but I know he seems a good asset, but I'd be hesitant to start him versus Arsenal as well, even though it's a home game. All right, finally on to forwards. Cho, 41% owned. Ilanga, 39% owned. They're probably taken in your leagues, but they are under 50% owned. Other high assets, Jimenez, 37% owned. He got a few ghosties. Man, honestly, playing Chelsea, it wouldn't surprise me if this guy scores a goal. Like, we're so bad. We're so bad right now. So I'm still a little burnt by those 2 zeros in a season. So, you keep that in mind, sort of thing. So if you're absolutely hard pressed, then start him, but I wouldn't be in a rush, sort of thing, right? We talked about Beto ghosting well, but coming off early, 46% owned. Surely he's taken in your league. Same like a Dingra with the rotation and all that. Any Brighton asset is fucking amazing to own, right? So let's kind of touch on some of the low-owned assets. From Luton Town, a couple of forwards that are probably going to get a bit of both games in the double game week. Jacob Brown, 4% owned, and Ogben, 1% owned. I'm a bit higher on Ogben. The fact that he got the 90 minutes, 4 key passes, like, that's no simple feat. Again, with being a speed merchant, I don't know, maybe he's kind of nailed in that sense. I don't know, like Ryan said, like, whether you take the gamble if they're bench and then start them still, like, maybe I would if it was like, Cunha was your other player or Jimenez was your other player. I'd maybe take the gamble then on like getting, 100 to 120 minutes across the 2 games. Mateta, 5% owned. I know there was concern about Edouard having a hamstring injury or something like that. So maybe that's one to kind of monitor. Not the greatest ghoster, but he's getting attacker returns and he looks really silky. ITAS-wise, linking up with the team, creating big chances, that sort of stuff. Like, yeah, I think there's potential there. Then looking at some of the Burnley boys, Amdouni, Koleosho, and Foster, 21% owned. Amdouni and Koleosho are both 12% owned. You're probably going to have the best both starts from Amdouni. Like, him and Koleosho, I don't know if they're going to get 90 minutes in either of the games, but Amdouni shooting the most. He's scored a goal as well. Koleosho is getting points from ghosting, dribbling, creating chances here and there. But I know like Foster is missing the first game, but I feel like he would have been dropped in a lot of leagues. And I just prefer him over the likes of like, your Cunhas or your Jimenez's. Like, I think he's going to get 90 minutes. He's already scored a couple goals for the season. Even with the red card and the assist, like he still ended up on positive points, right? And I would maybe gamble on him getting that second game, and it's the easier one that they have, right? First one is away to Newcastle, the other one's away to Luton. Like, I know Luton's supposed to be a bit of a fortress, that sort of stuff, but Burnley play good football, man. I trust company. And then Broja, 4% owned, Chelsea asset. Yeah, man, he could get a start if he's fit. Nico Jackson missing the game because of suspension. So again, like we said, keep an eye on the cup fixture. Maybe he gets some minutes off the bench. If not eye test, maybe look at the stats, underlying numbers, that sort of stuff. And yeah, maybe gamble on it. My only concern is that, it's the Monday fixture. It's like the last fixture that you can kind of have options to kind of flex with your team. So if he doesn't start, you're going to need to have some sort of a backup option in that sense, right? Make sure you have some nailed asset that you can maybe swap with your bench, that sort of thing. And don't get stuck with a dud player. I mean, you can maybe risk starting him while he's on the bench, but I wouldn't take that risk. But yeah, that is those are the picks, and that's the pod. Guys, thanks again for listening to another long marathon. I know it's a massive one. Also because it's double game week, and there's a lot of questions that we had, and I mean, I'm so grateful to the fans and listeners for all the support that they're showing us, all the engagement. But yeah, guys, absolutely love you, and we will catch you on the next episode then. Peace.